Hello, welcome to Always Sides podcast, where I, your host Malia, and co-host
Benjamin.
will be reading and discussing Reddit stories. Our first story is,
Am I the asshole for suing my friend's mom? My friend's mom asked me to be her social media manager. She could not afford my regular rate, but we agreed on an amount that's about a quarter of what I typically charge. I got all the credentials and went right to it. I increased her following, online visibility, and her overall SM presence, social media presence. The first month, I had to remind her to pay my invoice. She eventually did. The second month, she cited issues with her online banking and asked my friend to pay. That never happened. We eventually agreed that I'll be paid at the end of the third month. The agreed time rolled around and I got nothing but excuses. I was promised cash but never got it. These are usually very nice people, so I didn't think much about it. I got caught up in work and school and moving apartments. The next thing I knew, it has been over 6 months and I haven't been paid for any of the services I have been rendering. I reached out to her and she promised to pay me, and she said she was having some financial difficulties. The agreed date rolled around yet again. She didn't pay me, nor did she reach out. I called her and got no answers. I sent a message. She replied 2 weeks later saying something came up. She promised to pay again, and the date came and no word. She doesn't answer my calls, and she leaves me on red. We had paused working on her stuff back in June of this year, but I'm still supposed to get paid. I have asked my friend twice to ask her to pay me. Now, my question is, would I be the asshole for suing my friend's mom? What do you think?
no.
No? I don't think so.
All friends aside, that's stealing money, legal business.
Yeah, I mean, despite, she's not getting paid for the work that she's done. Yeah, there's a high chance you may lose friendship over that. But at the same time, do you know what I mean? Like 6 months of not being paid, and just because I feel like she might be not scared, but she might be put off the fact that because she's a friend's mom, that she won't sue her. But 6 months worth of pay, like, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, no, that's a little much. It does seem like she has another job though, like on top of what she's doing already. So doing 2 jobs and not getting paid for one is, that's not livable. It's too much stress.
I'm also taking advantage of their work or their expertise. You can't even pay them the full salary. Fair enough if they're a new business starting out, but they agreed to pay a quarter of it, and they can't even pay a quarter of it from compared to what they have agreed.
Yeah,
doesn't really make sense. Really,
not even do it in the first place. Then
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, that was a nice and short one.
Yeah.
Our next story
is, am I the asshole for telling my wife that she can stay home this Thanksgiving? My wife is a grade A plus picky eater. It's bothersome to a certain degree, but on holidays, basically the shit show begins. She'd refuse to eat certain meals and my mom would take it personally, which results in a series of arguments between them. As a compromise this year, my wife offered to bring her own food to Thanksgiving dinner. I was stunned. I asked if she thought this through and she looked at me confused. I told her about how weird it would be for her to bring her own food, especially when she wouldn't be sharing it with anyone else, and told her to think about how my mom will react. She'd get very offended and upset. My wife said that it's not her problem and that she was just trying to make it work by bringing her own meal. I told her again that my mom might not like nor even allow this. She blew up at asking me if I want her to either eat food she doesn't like or go hungry. I suggested that she just give my mom's food a chance, but she said that it wasn't about my mom's cooking. She just doesn't like certain foods. We had an argument and I ended up telling her she could just stay home this Thanksgiving and have whatever meal she likes. She got quiet and lashed out on me, calling me insensitive and negative to say this to her. I repeatedly asked her to calm down, but she just couldn't stop ranting about how I was basically willing to exclude her from a major event. She started cold shouldering me about it while at the same time guilting me to say I'm treating her poorly after she offered the perfect compromise. Update. And so, my wife has decided to go spend Thanksgiving with her family, who, by the way, live hours away, so this means unnecessary travel expenses instead, and basically ditched me for the whole week. Y'all happy now? Though I appreciate some insightful comments on the situation, some others, not so much, especially with those assumptions claiming that my wife has allergies. She does not. Y'all get that from. But anyway, she all good now. I guess though I'm not too thrilled with her decision, I feel like she's doing it to spite me or get me in to cave in. This was quite a read. I'm gonna be completely honest. That was quite a read. All right, that was a handful to read, but
What I don't get is...
Am I the asshole?
What I don't get is why can't the mother accommodate for certain food?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know how intense her not allergies, but like her dislikes are.
She's just picky, isn't she? It's not it's not coming down to, you know, certain foods in terms of, oh, I don't like your cooking. I don't like your cooking. It's more so the fact that
You just don't like that food.
she just doesn't like certain food.
So it's like, I mean, it's very simple. Like, if I didn't like food, you just be like, okay, well, what do you like? You just cook that on the side. Like, that's pretty easy. And then it seems like they've never accommodated her, and that's why she's trying to bring her own food. It does seem like she's being petty and just going to go for the hell of it to spite him. So that's fun.
Some of these stories, honestly.
Most of the comments are saying that like their family has made compromises for food that they don't like. It's just something that the family does.
Yeah.
And I think the husband should be telling the mother to make something that the woman likes. Like it isn't that hard to make a little like something on the extra.
Especially if you're hosting, surely if you're hosting a Thanksgiving dinner, surely it's better to be like, right, what food do you like? What food do you like? What food do you like? Yeah, maybe a hassle, but it shows you're a good host. If I'm just gonna cook, let's just say I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna cook chicken only, but half the guests are vegan or vegetarians or whatnot. They'll, you know, they're not gonna feel welcomed at all. And then they'll bring their own food. Then the host will end up getting offended because they've brought their own food, being like, well, is my food not good enough? Well, I think the host needs to accommodate for their guests. If you're going to host a Thanksgiving, you need to accommodate all the guests that are coming.
No, I agree.
I don't think everyone would do that, of course, but yeah.
No, I agree. I think that they should accommodate. Some of these are just talking about all their families and how they're being like, yeah, like I don't like fish, so they make me a chicken. Everybody laughs about it. It's a good time. Like that's like, it's not hard to make at least one thing that the woman likes. I'm kind of taken aback how the husband isn't telling the mother, hey.
Yeah, if anything, he wasn't supporting his wife. He was just like, right, you can stay at home. You can have whatever meal you want then.
Yeah, he was more worried about, he sounds like a mommy's boy, worried about his mom's feeling than his wife's, which, I mean, once you get married, your wife's feeling should be your first priority.
So with that going forward, then I would say that
he's probably
the husband is the asshole.
Yeah.
He wasn't supporting his wife. He was simply just like, well, you know, if you don't like it, you can stay at home. It's not the go-to attitude to have, really.
You've had that attitude before.
I have. But anyway, that's it for this episode today. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Follow our social media at Always Sides on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And there are also other formats available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.